Limits, a PlayStation podcast, episode 87. Stellar Blade, or rather, should I say, Stellar Booty? It's pretty good. Hello, everyone. You're listening to No Limits, a PlayStation podcast, episode 87. I'm joined by my co-hosts, Brianna and Sam. So, yeah. Remember, you can find the video version of this podcast over on youtube.com/SaveTheGameMedia every Tuesday. While you're over there, make sure to subscribe to the channel. If you'd rather listen to audio, we are on all your favorite podcast services. We would love it if you could leave us a review. It helps us grow, and we would love any feedback. If you want to support us and get early access to all Save the Game Media content, head over to patreon.com/SaveTheGameMedia and choose the tier that's right for you, just like our current patrons did. Fabulous Brianna, Brianna's mom, Brianna's brother, Lindsay, Nikolai Knight, Cypher Primus, Brendan Myers, Marcus O'Neill, Lillian, Mimi J, David Hotright, Dave Harp, the Xbox Expansion Pass, Alpaca Tom, Lee Navarro, and the Good Sir. You can also check out our YouTube at Save the Game Media and Twitter at Save Game Media. Also, interact with us in the Discord. Links are all in the show notes. How are we doing today, my fellow dudes and dudettes? And dude, actually, I retract that statement. Dudes can be a genderless pronoun.
Yeah, dudes it works.
How we doing, dudes?
I don't know that I can ever forgive you for that intro, Taylor.
I actually really liked it because clearly Stellar Blade is taking right after Two Booty.
What is Two Booty?
So Nier, the main character's name is 2B.
Oh, okay. You're saying, okay. I know 2B is. All right. I just missed the pun because I'm stupid.
Yeah, Two Booty. I haven't played the demo, but I did download it. I'm excited. Don't spoil anything too much.
What's Sam?
Sam's okay.
Just to answer your question, to course correct from my comment, I'm good. I'm well. It's been nice to have a couple of days to not really have to do anything. It's been a nice change of pace.
Yes.
Played some video games, you know. I'm good. There's not really much else to report.
Good for you, Sam.
Thanks.
Bree?
I'm doing pretty good. We're gonna have some malfoof today, and I'm very excited to eat that.
Malfoof.
Yeah, it's really good.
Malfoof.
It's MALFOUF.
God, I'm so good at spelling. Malfoof mashi, stuffed cabbage rolls.
So we're gonna do that. We already did the rolling part last night. You have to like parboil the cabbage and then peel it, and then you cut the little hard part out, and then you roll it with the meat and the rice. So we did that last night, and we're gonna be cooking it today for like a early Easter dinner. And yeah, so doing pretty good. Looking forward to eating that. I've been reading a lot. I finished 2 books on Friday. And
wow. Nice. Speaking of food, I made smoked cheese risotto yesterday with red cabbage. That's what the recipe called for, and I brought it to my cookbook, my potluck meetup. So that was nice. I will say smoked. I cannot tell the difference between smoked Gruyere and smoked Gouda. Just tastes the same to me. But when they're not smoked, it's a clear difference.
I haven't had like some good cheese in a while. I really like brie cheese.
Bree's. I get it.
It's
Goat
really
cheese.
good. Like a triple cream brie. I do not like goat cheese at all.
Oh, come on, man. Ricotta?
I do like ricotta. I like ricotta on pizza. It's
Yes,
so
I agree.
freaking good.
Not replacing mozzarella, but in addition
No, just
to.
in addition. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
More cheese, so that way I'm more likely to have an upset tummy.
Yeah, imagine being lactose intolerant.
I am.
What a bad personality trait.
I know.
It's a personality trait. It's not a It's not a, physiological aspect. It's all in your head. Well, your head is physiological.
I mean, it is optional.
Right. If you just take a lactate pill,
I could.
You're one of these people that's like, I could, but it's more fun not to, or something like that.
I don't think it's more fun. I just don't.
Well.
I'm just making poor decisions. That's all.
Hell yeah, man. What you guys been playing, though?
Absolutely nothing. Just kidding. I played an hour of Dragon's Dogma 2, and that's it. I'm having a difficult time with it because it more feels like Skyrim than anything else. And I wasn't looking for a Skyrim experience. I don't think I was looking for more of like, I knew that it wasn't like Monster Hunter, like in the way that Monster Hunter is like an enclosed experience where you just go on the hunt and then come back to the hub.
Right.
I knew it wasn't like that, but I was expecting more of like a go out and come back to like something like, I don't know. So I was expecting more enclosed experience and it hasn't been. So that's not to say that the game's bad. It's not. It's an incredibly awesome game. It's beautiful. The mechanics are awesome, but it just isn't what I was looking for, I don't think. So we'll see. We shall see.
You never got into Monster Hunter Rise, did you?
I did not. I bought it.
You're more a world person.
Yeah. Yeah, I was. I put several hundred hours into that game.
So I was watching Godzilla yesterday, Godzilla vs. Kong, and I'm going to see Godzilla Kong today.
Did you watch the other one that I watched?
In the Monsterverse? Oh,
Godzilla
-1?
Zero? Yeah.
No, I missed -1 in theaters, and because of a stupid agreement that I think Toho, the people behind, I think they actually own the Godzilla IP one, but I think they have a deal with Legendary, the people who make the MonsterVerse films, like Godzilla, the new like Godzilla, Kong, King of the Monsters that came out recently over the past few years, and the one that's going to theaters now, where they can't release a film in U.S. theaters in the same year that Legendary is putting their film in theaters. So it's basically ending. I think it'll be until 2025 before -1 comes to streaming or Blu-ray. So I have to wait until then to see it. Yeah, because I didn't catch it in theaters.
I'm sorry, that sucks.
Yeah, but I was in the kaiju mood, so I was looking at Monster Hunter for fun, and like, oh, Monster Hunter Rise is pretty cheap. I want to buy another game that I won't play, and But Monster Hunter Wilds is coming out next year. Supposed to.
That's what I need in my life, is just another Monster Hunter. I'm sure I'll do one of two things. I'll either keep playing Dragon's Dogma 2 really slowly and like it'll just be like a slow burn kind of thing, or I'll take a break and play it later when I'm more in the mood for that kind of like fully open world, like Skyrim, do whatever you want kind of game. We'll see though. I will say the snake mechanic, non-existent, but there are missions that you're required to sneak around. That did bug me, I will say. So
gotcha. Well, I got the original for $5. That was mine like a couple weeks ago. But yeah, I've been playing Stellar Blade demo and Helldivers 2. Killing the automatons, terminating the Terminators, you know the deal. Yeah. So it's the things you unlock in that game are funny. Like, I threw down an airstrike, and I forgot I flew down an airstrike. So then I started charging the enemy, and my airstrike hit me. But it was an honest mistake. It's kind of how it is for democracy. But Sam, you perked up when I said Stellar Blade demo. You've been playing the Stellar Blade demo?
I have. Yes.
What do you think?
I did. I shared my sentiment briefly in the Discord. Yeah, it's pretty dope. I think what I said in the Discord, paraphrasing, is that it's not doing anything new in the demo, but everything it does pretty good to very well. Again, not a Nier guy, but it gives me some of those vibes. It's like, in the same way that I think a lot of people might criticize something like Rise of the Ronin recently for being a hodgepodge of lots of different things and ultimately nothing greater than the sum of its parts, I think Stellar Blade might get the same commentary, but be on a more positive angle, whereby Rise of the Ronin was, like, for a lot of people, seemingly critically sort of mostly forgettable because of just how generic and homogenous it was. I think Stellar Blade is the same for different types of things, whether it's Devil May Cry or a little bit of the Sekiro sort of FromSoft Souls-like combat, Nier, obviously some male gaze things, I think it will get those criticisms, but because it does those things good, and is a bit more intriguing in terms of like premise, concept, visuals, and I don't mean those visuals, I mean just visuals in general, aesthetics and art style, that kind of thing, world design, enemy design, it might skew more positive. That's my current thoughts. The demo was quite limited, so I don't really know what the scope of the game is going to be, but it impressed me more than I thought it was going to. What about you, Taylor?
You're muted, silly.
Shh. Yeah, you're right. I think I agree with that. It's definitely a hodgepodge of, it seems like, Nier Automata, Devil May Cry, and Uncharted. And maybe, I don't know if Resident Evil is the word. The enemy design seems a bit Resident Evil-y. They're what looks like, alien life forms. But I haven't finished the demo, but what I've played is so good so far. The gameplay is solid. It has the combat isn't too easy, but it's not too difficult to get the hang of. I think Kyle commented on that in the Discord. Getting down the perfect parry and perfect dodge mechanics are integral to the gameplay. I'd like the dismemberment, slicing off parts from the aliens. It's pretty obvious how the developers choose to design Eve aesthetically, and the other fighters in the game.
Most of the characters, if we're being honest.
It's the characters. Yeah, it's interesting. I've not yet to see a depiction of a male character, I think, in any part of the game yet.
Interesting. Okay.
I think they're all depicted as women so far.
There is a male in the demo, so.
Oh, whoops.
That's given me albeit relatively briefly, but that does give me perspective on how far you're in.
Okay. Yeah, and music is good. The performance is excellent. It has a balance mode, visuals mode, and a performance mode, where the performance mode, I think, targets 120 FPS at 1440p. The balance mode is around 50 to 60 FPS at 4K. And the quality mode, or I should say the visual mode, is 4K 30 with the highest visual fidelity. But yeah, it was very good. I don't think I'm gonna pick this up at launch, but it was a good experience. Maybe I'll check it out on sale or if it comes to PS Plus.
Yeah. I'm not sure either. I'm not sold. If it's one of those things where the demo and the gameplay was fun enough that if the reviews come out and the reviews are good, I will probably buy it. If they're sort of like, it's good, but it's not like amazing, then it will be a wait for sale kind of game.
Gotcha. It seems like it has potential to have a very deep narrative, and its symbology and messaging.
Certainly more narrative context in this demo than there would be in like overt narrative context than something in any FromSoft game.
Right.
So I think that is something that it might work in its favor for more general audiences. Time will tell. Be interesting to see how this one plays out.
Mm-hmm. And how many butts we see?
A lot of butts.
Many butts.
They're shiny. The suits make them shiny.
This is all I need in my life is just butts.
Taylor, I don't know how much we all know about the game, but like, have you? Stick with me here. Did you take the suit off?
No.
Okay. So, like, this isn't a spoiler, but like, because it's very basic, it's actually technically a gameplay mechanic. The sort of like green and white suit that you have as Eve, if you go into your menu, and this will be the same in the full game, of course. If you go into your menu where you have your equipment, it's obviously limited. You don't really have anything to change or swap out or construct a build or anything, but you can unequip that suit, and she's not like naked or anything underneath it, but it changes to a skin suit, which is, again, like, to be fair, far more sexualized. It's very, very, very minimal, practically translucent stuff. Not like egregiously bad, but like towing the line much closer than even the basic default suit is. The interesting thing, though, is that if you do that, whether it's for the visual component or for the gameplay component is that it technically doing that puts the game in hard mode, because it counts as not wearing any suit, and by doing that you don't have any shield. So like you're essentially playing on hard mode, where you'll go down in 1, maybe 2 hits to anything. So yes, you can get the most eye candy if you want, but there is a compromise to it, which I think is a smart way of doing it, like, because let's be real, most people would probably do that if there wasn't a downside. But like, if you want that, you have to be really good at the game, which is interesting. Like, I can't think of another example of a game doing that, like giving you an aesthetic option that is specifically not only tied to a difficulty thing, but what is a potentially more desired aesthetic being the key component that makes the game more difficult. So,
the one South Park game had different settings based on appearance.
That is a very different contextual thing, not related to an outfit. But you are correct.
A couple interesting things. Well, I wonder if they're going to have a trophy towards the platinum where you complete the game without your suit on. Another thing is, in the demo, there's no hard mode.
Oh my god,
it's either story or normal difficulty. Or story is basically easy and normal is normal.
Yeah.
But I wonder if you unlock a hard mode or if a hard mode is available in the full game, or if you unlock it after you beat it.
That just relegates you to that suit.
Yeah. I like it when games have high risk, high reward modes like Lethal and Ghost of Tsushima, where both you and the enemy do more damage to each other.
Yeah.
So if an incentive like that existed in the game, maybe I'd go for it. But if it's just, hard mode for the sake of hard mode,
Yeah. I'll quickly run through everything else I've been playing because I played quite a smorgasbord of stuff this week.
All right.
So I platinumed Rise of the Ronin.
Wow.
That up. Yeah. Thoughts haven't changed. It's like a 7, you can go back and listen to previous thoughts if you haven't, previous week's episodes if you want more in-depth discussion of that. I'm not going to linger on it. I use some of my PlayStation Stars points to redeem PlayStation Store balance, and then utilize that, I think 20 quid it was, in the sale that's just gone on to pick up a couple of games. So I picked up the first Shadow Warrior because that is a game that I unironically love.
So when you say first Shadow Warrior, the game's from the 90s. You're talking about the first Shadow Warrior reboot?
The new, the right, reboot, okay. The newer one. I've played all 3 of the new ones.
Very good.
But I wanted, it was like very cheap, so I thought I might as well have it as a thing I can download on PlayStation and play rather than going to my laptop or anything else. I also picked up Neon Abyss, which is a indie roguelite that I've had my eye on for a long time, and just never pulled the trigger on. I'm like a heathen for like Binding of Isaac and stuff like that. And whilst this isn't one-to-one with Binding of Isaac, it's far more Rogue Legacy. I am loving it so far, really liking it. It's giving me that Binding of Isaac itch. So I've done quite a few runs on that. Bree, you'll probably be happy about this. I am trying
Tunic?
Yes. I'm trying. I'm trying to replay. I'm trying to replay Tunic.
Okay.
And actually make it through it. It's. I got to admit, I'm still not clicking with it. Like it's still not a thing that I'm vibing with. I think the thing that's holding me back is, and I don't have to tell me necessarily, but obviously you're finding the key component of the game is you're finding the pages of the manual that tell you game mechanics and how to do things and where things are and yada yada. I'm finding that very hard to comprehend most of the stuff. Like I just don't know what it's trying to tell me most of the time. And like I find the map very hard to navigate when you unlock it in the manual. Like I can't figure out exactly where I am, and that it's causing more frustration. Like I love the concept of the sense of discovery, but the steps to get to the discovery are like aggressively frustrating for me currently, and that's what I had the first time I tried it.
Okay.
So I'm still trying to persist. Like I want to just finish it no matter what, to get better thoughts, but
you don't have to, but if you want to, you can message me and ask like more specific questions. Like if you want to send me photos of specific pages that you need help with, or if you're like, hey, I don't know where this is, and you want to send us like a picture of like where you are, stuff like that. I'm happy to help, and like so that way you don't have to try and like spoil yourself with like a guide or something like that. So I can like more gently guide you.
Okay.
And that should help, because I would much rather you like ask for help and be a little bit less frustrated and hopefully have like a better experience than try and like be stubborn and like force your way through, because I think that would create
I'm going to be doing that anyway. I'll just be bashing
true.
my head against a wall.
But I think that like it'll be a better experience if you get a little bit of help.
Yeah, if I really hit a brick wall, then I shall reach out. But I'm going to try and power through, because I think that being like the key conceit of the game, it's kind of upon me to try and decipher as much as I can by myself.
One thing I will say about the manual that might help kind of with the confusion a little bit is that like sometimes you need the second page for it to fully make sense.
Yeah, no, I've discerned that definitely.
Okay.
I feel like this you can get into more holistic discussions. So I'll try and rein it back in, but like I keep on trekking into new areas, and the new areas are very expansive.
Yep.
And I feel like I am progressing in each of those places, but then I'm getting to the stage where there's clearly some place specifically that I need to go, and I just don't know where that is. So I'm just wandering around all of these places that I've been 3 times. I'm like, well, I'm missing some. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
I bet it's a mechanic that you're missing.
Most likely it is. There's like these tuning fork things that I keep hitting. I'm like, what are these here?
Yeah.
Don't answer that.
I'm not going
to. Yeah, so I'll persist. I will try, and if I really do need help, I'll reach out.
Okay, please do.
I'm also still playing Midnight Suns, still loving that. I don't think there's anything else other than, which has taken up a fair chunk of my time. I've also gone back and I'm trying to give Final Fantasy VII Remake another shot. So I'm on chapter 8 of that currently, and trying to not do like a completionist run, but just experience more of the side quests and stuff. Yeah, so I'm having an okay time, a good time with that. I still probably think I'll come down on the fact that I like Rebirth more, but my mind could be changed by the time I finish the game. So that's a whole lot from me. I think that's every game I've been playing. It'll do, regardless.
Awesome.
I do, just because like I think it's fun. My dad started playing Bloodborne again.
Ooh.
And he cracks me up because he'll be like, Brianna, just help me. Just tell me. Like, just tell me. Oh, is it cutting out? Good?
For me, it did a little bit. I don't know about Sam.
No, you're fine on my end.
Okay, never mind.
Okay. So it's like he kept getting frustrated. Well, he finally made it to the cleric beast. And he was just like slamming his head against the cleric beast. And he finally was like, I just need tips, Brianna. I just don't know what I'm doing. So I gave him all of, like, the usual tips, like stay close to the boss, try and get behind the boss, like all of those like usual dodge through the attack, like don't try and like dodge away from the attack, stuff like that. And like the whole time he was just arguing, well, if I get close to him, then this happens. It was like, it was so funny. I was like, it's a canon event. I can't interfere. So he beat the cleric beast last night. I was very proud.
Amazing. Yeah.
So now he's down with the rats. He went down.
Okay. There. He's in the sewers.
Yep.
Excellent. Yeah. If the game clicked with me fighting Gascoigne, and I think that's the experience of many people. That was also my first Soulsborne, so it was pretty monumental as far as From Software goes for me.
Mm-hmm.
But Gascoigne is supposed to be the Cleric Beast is your, I don't know. To my opinion, Cleric Beast is your confidence booster, but Father Gascoigne, I think, is the big determination if he'll move on with the game or not.
Yeah. What cracked me up too is he tells me, he goes, well, Brianna, he's like, I just need something, because he's playing God of War as well. But he's like, I just need something else to play, like when I need to take a break from God of War. So that's what he wanted to play, and like
wow,
break.
This is break, huh?
Yeah, from God of War. So he's like, Brianna, I just need help with this werewolf. And I was like, holy cow! Like, how did you make it to Father Gascoigne? Like, because that's what I thought he was talking about, right? And then I come downstairs to help him, because he called me. So I go downstairs to help him, and he's fighting the wolf that's in the clinic.
Yeah, that's what I figured he meant.
And I was like, oh my god. Anyway,
that wolf isn't really defeatable until like you have a few levels on you.
No, it is. You can beat it immediately, because it only has a third health. All you have to do is die, come back, and use your weapon, and it's like 2 hits.
Or you can just like get good and beat it to death with your fists first time.
Yeah, with your fists. Yeah.
Well, in the DLC of
I've done
Bloodborne,
that a couple times.
You can get an item called the Fists of Gradia. That's the most it gives you as far as unarmed builds go.
So what you're saying is, in order to beat that first wolf, you had to beat the entire game, then the DLC to get those unarmed fists, and then go back. Okay.
That seems reasonable.
Well, Sam, technically you can access the... No, wait. Where are the Fists of Gradia in the DLC? Oh, let's see, because I'm...
Wait, were you about to say that it's okay to dive in to Old Hunters straight away?
You can't.
No, I was about to say that you might not have had to beat the whole game if you could just go to Cathedral Ward and then run to where the location is in the DLC.
Okay.
But according to Google, it's actually after Ludwig. So
okay, I have a question, and hey, warning, this is spoilers, you guys, for Bloodborne. And I mean it. Like, we're just going to do 30 seconds of the end of Bloodborne spoilers if you care. Can you just go in and fight? Like, once you get your first weapon, can you fight what's-his-face in the wheelchair?
No.
What happens if you try and swing at him?
You cannot fight Gehrman. He'll disappear.
He just sort of evaporates. Literally. And then disappears later on when you go back.
And then that's when you can fight him.
Yeah. The only time you fight Gehrman is if you reject his offer.
Yeah.
At the end of the game.
Interesting. Okay.
That's still a crazy fight. This man gets up from his wheelchair.
Fraud.
And then procures a scythe. And you're like, what the hell is going on? He never told me about this, and he's been faking it the whole time.
There's like, this man, he stood up. It's a miracle.
It's not like the Midnight Mass thing where it's a miracle, but it's not a miracle. Gehrman really is that guy, all right?
Dude, Midnight Mass is... I wanted that show to be better.
Yeah, me too.
Do better.
But what's her name? Siegel? Emma? No, what's her name?
What are you saying to me right now?
The actress in who's in all of Mike Flanagan's wife, Kate Siegel. Kate Siegel.
Oh yeah,
stunning.
She is. She's beautiful.
Anyway, we're a half hour into the show. I think we should probably start talking about.
We better be making it quick. Well, we kind of already talked about the first one, so I suggest we skip that.
Stellar Blade demo is out, and your progress will carry over when the game releases on April 26th. So please be excited.
I'm excited.
Thank you.
It does say that there's a little surprise for players who complete the first stage. I finished the demo. I don't exactly know what they're talking about.
That came from the blog, so I don't really know what that's talking about either.
Like, unless it's just the idea that you finish the first stage and then there's another section of the demo, which isn't, I don't think is a spoiler. Or like, if that's what they're suggesting, is just that there's a bit more demo when you do the first bit of the demo. That seems odd, but that could be what it is. I could have missed something. I'm not sure.
Gotcha.
Hi, Toph. Okay, next.
Yeah. Or wants to grab it?
I'll take it. PlayStation Plus monthly games for April. Immortals of Avium for PS5. Minecraft Legends for PS4 and PS5. Skull the Hero Slayer for PS4.
Immortals of Avium. Solid pick.
Is it?
I think so. I think Jam-Pack Sam really likes that game.
It reviewed okay. It's not a bad game by any metric.
Is this a first-person shooter or what is it?
First-person magic.
First-person magic shooter, yeah.
Like Hexen and Heretic.
But far more.
But not really like those games.
This main character is pretty attractive and you don't even get to look at him?
Hexen and Heretic might be some of the most misleading games of all time when it comes to the map and navigation. So I would hope Immortals of Avium doesn't follow suit to that. Every time I see Immortals of Avium, it reminds me of Lies of P, and then I remember I really need to play Lies of P.
Wait, whoa, hang on. Whoa. Every time you see Immortals of Avium,
when I see the box art, let me say that for some reason it reminds me of Liza P.
Because there's a man stood there.
I don't know.
Yeah, well, that's a very strange comparison to draw. Hang on,
Right,
let's have
Freud.
a
Jeez.
Ratchet and Clank reminds me of vampires.
Oh, yeah, that is a little.
Well, okay, I guess like I'm looking at the Liza P cover art. He's stood there square on with like blue fire in
Aha!
his arm.
That's what it was.
So like there, I guess there is that comparison. Although, if I remember correctly, the Immortals of Avium isn't stood square on; he's sort of like looking off to one side. But still, very close in terms of overall. Except that, of course, the Immortals of Avium dude isn't dressed up like a Victorian child. That would be cooler.
Right.
But I'm looking forward. I over the holidays, I think I got very close to picking up a physical copy of Immortals of Avium because it was going like dirt cheap on Amazon.
Wow.
Because I'm a physical.
You're a slut for physical copies.
I mean, you said it, not me.
Mm-hmm.
I am, but yeah, now I don't have to. I'm in the Game Pass mentality.
Oh wow. Wow. Yeah, I will be too.
We've lost him.
Remember when I said I was not going to subscribe to PS Plus? Yeah, that was.
Oh yeah, we all knew it was a lie.
That was a fun week and a half, wasn't it?
Yeah.
What do you mean? What do you mean, man? And I probably won't be renewing my Game Pass subscription. I am not exaggerating when I say I've only used Game Pass for Microsoft Flight Simulator. I'm just going to buy that game at this point. Over the past year.
Ain't that just the way?
I just wish I used it more. If I did, I'd keep paying for it. But I pay for PS Plus because I make content about PlayStation and I like being tuned into the content available there. Also, there's a few games on the catalog that I wanted to check out anyway, like I said, in the pre-show. Final Fantasy VII Remake, Midnight Suns, Sifu. I'd like to have access to those. And
hell yeah.
Anyway, and if it all burns down, then I can buy them on PC for like -$2 in 5 years.
Exactly.
So I win. Actually, Kevin's a real winner. He got grandfathered in to $90 a year PS Plus premium pricing because of PlayStation, his pre-existing PlayStation Now. No joke.
Yeah.
Son of a B.
Good for him.
Got to be in it to win it, Taylor.
That's right. PS3 emulation is coming along. And I have my PS3 in the cabinet. If I really want to, I can get PS3. All right.
True.
All right. True. All right, Toph. All right, Topher Grace Toph. Okay.
Next one, quick.
Next one. Sam. This is a long one.
Do you know how to read, Sam?
Do I have what words?
Look. All right. Being literate was not. There are people.
It was not on the job posting.
Luckily, I am because I write for a living. So Sony is certified. Taylor,
if you can write that, that doesn't mean
Taylor.
You can. Okay. Sorry, Dad.
Good boy. Good boy. Sony will be certifying games to a PS5 Pro Enhanced label. So Insider Gaming has learned of the developer requirements that need to be met to have the, quote, PS5 Pro Enhanced label. Internally, this is currently called the Trinity Enhanced label, which makes sense because the PS5 Pro is internally labeled as Trinity. So the Enhanced label first made its introduction into the PlayStation ecosystem following the release of the PlayStation 4 Pro, which meant that the game utilized the Pro console's improved hardware to offer improved frame rates and resolutions. For the PS5 Pro, PlayStation wants games to offer a PS5 Pro exclusive graphics mode that will combine PSSR to upscale the resolution to 4K, a constant 60 FPS, as well as adding or increasing pre-existing ray tracing effects. According to documents sent to Insider Gaming, this is possible because of faster RAM, which is 28% faster, and a faster GPU that is 67% larger than the standard console and 45% faster. You can read more about the PS5 Pro specs at the Insider Gaming article. You can look that up. PlayStation says these combined make the Pro 45% faster than the standard PS5 and can provide twice the rendering speed of the standard issue console. PlayStation goes on to continue that games may also be given the PS5 Pro Enhanced label if they offer any of the following enhancements. So 1, increased target resolution for titles that run a fixed resolution on the standard console. Increased target maximum resolution for titles that run at variable resolution on the standard console. And increased target frame rate for titles that target a fixed frame rate on the standard console. Also inclusion of PS5 Pro ray tracing effects. Essentially, again, that's just makes it look better, makes it run smoother, and ray tracing good. Richard Leadbetter from Digital Foundry said that people shouldn't expect GTA 6 to run at 60 FPS on the PS5 Pro, based on the PS5 Pro's CPU being near identical to the base PS5, with the difference being a 10% gigahertz increase. All of this, of course, coming from Tom Henderson at Insider Gaming.
My brain turned into static the entire time that was happening.
So basically, when the PS5 Pro comes out, there will be a optional, not necessarily compulsory, PS5 Pro exclusive mode that games can be set to.
Right.
That will upscale resolution to 4K, lock it to 60 FPS across the board, and improve or flat out add ray tracing effects if they weren't there already. That's the basis. That there's just going to be a PS5 Pro mode for some games. It's going to be an option that's available. Yeah, like it's what you would expect, I would have thought. I don't know if there was an equivalent. There must have been an equivalent for the PS4 Pro?
Yeah,
I assume.
I think there were PS4 Pro Enhanced games like Horizon Forbidden West. I know Horizon Zero Dawn got a checkerboard 4K upscaling.
Yeah.
Also, Sam, I think you mentioned it right that Richard Leadbetter from Digital Foundry said people should not expect GTA 6 to run at 60 FPS on the Pro.
Yeah.
We were talking last 2 weeks like that would be a great incentive for Sony to sell this console if GTA 6 ran at 60 FPS on that platform. If it doesn't, yeah, it's a big bummer for immediate adoption. But
I'm not gonna like overtly call this dude out because obviously he knows what he's talking about, but I would be very surprised if the Pro comes out and it doesn't manage 60 FPS for GTA 6. I'd be very surprised.
Yeah. It's not the facts. It's just what he's saying.
Absolutely.
Specs on paper, but
because the CPU is still very close to the base model, which makes sense because you can't drastically outpace the base model,
right? But we've seen
because then you have an Xbox problem.
Right, yeah.
So, like, he could be right. I will be willing to eat my hat if I'm wrong, but I kind of feel like it's not the sole reason, but it's certainly one of the main reasons I think that PlayStation are going to push the Pro out and get it out by the end of this year, is so that it's there on the shelves so that they can market it, maybe do a bundle along with GTA 6. They've got the marketing rights. Everything's lined up. I think it would be very weird because even without the 60 FPS, technically just by the stats alone, the PS5 Pro would still be the best place to play GTA 6 on console because it's not coming to PC at launch. But you would still want that 60 FPS, I would have thought, as like the final nail in the coffin of being like, if you're going to play GTA 6 on console, and you can afford it, you really should probably get the PS5 Pro. But time will tell.
You guys gonna get one?
No.
Nope. I'd rather, people say, well, you can trade in and then reinvest, and then it's only a couple $100 more up front if you trade in your base PS5. I'd rather wait the 1 to 3 or 1 to 4 more years when the PS6 comes out and put the money I would have put towards a PS5 Pro towards that console.
Yeah. And like I think on top of that, because I'm right with you, Taylor, I think the thing as well for me is that obviously PlayStation is my primary place that I'm playing anything, whether it's first party, second, third party, whatever. But also the games that I'm most here for are the first party releases, and they are always incredibly well optimized for the PlayStation 5 and just the PlayStation consoles historically in general. So it's not like me not having the Pro means I'm going to have a substandard experience with any future first party titles. They will get it working as good as humanly possible on the base model, because they did that with PS4. Like playing Last of Us Part 2 and Ghost of Tsushima base PS4 perfectly fine. So I don't think I'm going to miss out on anything. But obviously there's going to be a market for it. There are going to be some people that will say, I want the definitive place to play, Ghost of Tsushima 2 or Naughty Dog's new IP or Cory Barlog's new game, which I get, but it's just like, it's apples and apples to me at the end of the day.
Yep. I agree. Cool stuff. Let's see. And the last story we have here, which I think will lead into the post show. I haven't told Sam and Bree this is going to be a post show topic, but I think it would be fitting. Anyway, according to Jim Ryan, the PS2 has sold 160 million units. This comes to us from
160.
Sorry, yeah, 160 million. So 160,000,000. This comes to us from the official PlayStation podcast where he mentioned it. And the last update on PlayStation 2 sales showed that for that console, they were at 159 million units sold before Ryan mentioned this. And, well, it still might be that much, but he mentioned 160 specifically. And Sony also officially reported 150 million units in 2011. And the PS2, I don't know if listeners knew this. I didn't know this until this article, that the PS2 stayed in production until 2013.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, the PS2 was in production for over a decade at the end of the PS3 life cycle. And an analyst, Daniel Ahmad at Nico Partners, said that these sales eventually rose to 155.1 million by March 2012. And for context, the PS2 stands as the best-selling console in history at 159 million units sold. That was before this update to 160, followed by the Nintendo DS at 154 million, the Switch at 139 million, the Game Boy and Game Boy Color, they grouped those together at 118 million, and the PS4 at 117. So,
man, I miss my Game Boy.
Yeah, I'm more of the Game Boy Advance.
I had like the black and white Game Boy until my storage unit drama happened, and I missed it. It was a fantastic Game Boy.
Built like tanks. As long as you have batteries.
Yeah, all you needed is just like a little bit of in the cartridge, or you good.
You got it. Yep. So yeah, the PS2 is still king, and
nothing's ever going to beat it.
I think the Switch, depending on how long Nintendo holds the Switch to its chest, I think it could. I think Nintendo could sell 20 million. What are the Nintendo Switch sales?
No, Nintendo Switch is about to be done.
Nintendo Switch sales
Could get closer for sure, but I don't think it's going to hit 20 million in under a year now, probably.
Well, it's not necessarily under a year.
So.
I know what you mean. I know, but
they can continue to sell Switches after the Switch 2 is out. I think just from, I'm going to call it leftover stock or existing stock from when the Switch, because when the Switch 2 launches, it does not necessarily mean Nintendo officially stops production on the first Switch.
No.
So I think over the next 3 years, the Nintendo Switch 1, quote unquote Switch 1, could overtake the PS2 just from what I'll call residual sales of people still adopting it even after the Switch 2 comes out.
I think honestly, getting into a wider conversation, that's probably why we haven't heard officially about the Switch 2 yet, is because Nintendo are just holding out, and they know that realistically, generally speaking, of course not across the board, as soon as you announce a new console and it's sort of like imminent or, within a year, your current console sales are going to take a relatively big hit, because people who maybe might have been thinking about splurging on the current console are now like, I'll wait the year and pick up the new one. So I've got the new hotness when it comes out.
Yeah.
In the same way that's probably why we haven't heard about the PS5 Pro yet, because they have metrics of PS5 sales that they had to downscale, but they still want to hit. Whereas if they announce officially that a PS5 Pro is coming at the end of this year, not a lot of PlayStation 5s, or far fewer PlayStation 5s, are going to sell than if they hold out and like Nintendo were like, what are you talking about? Switch 2? What? That's not a thing.
You guys don't remember the NX? All the NX lead up to the Switch launch in 2017.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
So we'll see. It'll be close either way. And if the Switch does manage to surpass PS2, it's not going to be by
It'll be like 3 units.
No. I mean,
it'll be like a few 100,000 probably.
The PS4 fell to the Game Boy Advance, the Game Boy Color in all-time sales by, I think, less than 1 million, according to Wikipedia. So it'll be something like that.
Yeah.
Right. Well, yeah, and I thought as a post-show topic, it would be fun to go over our favorite games from the PS2 era. They didn't have to necessarily release on the PS2, maybe I'll say that, but our favorite games in the early 2000s. Isn't that right, Toph? What?
Sounds good to me.
All right, well, let's switch over to the post show then.
Wait, we have to do our introduction, guys.
Say goodbye.
Well, if you guys want to listen to that, in addition to hearing about Sam's Animal Crossing wallpaper.
Yeah, it's true. He does have Animal Crossing wallpaper in his room.
Just categorically incorrect.
No, that is straight up Animal Crossing wallpaper. I'm so sorry to tell you.
It's true. Yep.
And he's just really upset about it. We did talk about bread last week, so you can listen to that one too. We talked about my hidden life as a baker.
Mm-hmm.
My TLC, what was it? What was the TLC episode called? It was My Strange Addictions. I can't stop eating bread. I don't know.
That seems like a pretty normal addiction to me.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you all so much for listening. You can find us at youtube.com/SaveTheGame, youtube.com/SaveTheGameMedia, double S's. Don't forget to check out our Discord. Links are all in the description, and the Patreon, Save the Game Media, and Twitter at Save Game Media. Where can people find you, Sam?
Anywhere and everywhere. At Sam Heaney, HEANEY.
Awesome. What about you, Bree?
You can find me at Fabulous Brianna, FabulistBrianna.
Sweet. And you can find me as Taylor on the Discord, and PSN as Mr. Carter9. That's MrCarternine, named after Vince Carter and the number he wore during the Olympics when he dunked over a 7-footer. People didn't know that already.
I didn't know that, actually.
Yeah. Well, now we're going to go over to the post show. So thank you all so much for listening. Have a good one. Bye-bye.